Samson was not just a man of extraordinary strength, but a symbol of how divine power can manifest in surprising ways. His story, filled with epic victories and tragic defeats, reveals the highs and lows of a life marked by faith and human flaws. As one of the most fascinating judges in the Bible, Samson left a legacy of courage and perseverance, but also serves as a warning about the dangers of making poor choices. Want to know how his strength changed the destiny of an entire nation and what lessons we can learn from his life? Then make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this story will inspire you and make you reflect like never before. The loss of his strength. Samson, chosen by God from his mother's womb, carried extraordinary strength as a sign of his covenant with the Lord. However, by revealing the secret of his power to Delilah, he broke that covenant. When she cut his 7 locks of hair, Samson immediately lost his strength. This was far more than just a loss of physical ability. It marked the separation from the divine protection that had been with him. Without God's presence, Samson became vulnerable, showing that his true strength did not come from himself alone, but from obedience to God's calling. Betrayal and humiliation. Delilah, whom Samson thought he loved, revealed her true intentions by handing him over to the Philistines. He was bound and taken as a prisoner, completely vulnerable and powerless to resist. This moment symbolized the humiliation of someone chosen by God, but who fell due to his own poor decisions. Delilah's betrayal was not just personal, it also reflected how Samson neglected his greater purpose, allowing seduction and pride to take the place of his divine mission. Physical and spiritual blindness. After being captured, the Philistines blinded Samson by gouging out his eyes. This physical blindness symbolized the spiritual blindness that Samson had been demonstrating in his life, repeatedly ignoring God's warnings and boundaries. He allowed vanity, self-reliance, and passion to guide him, failing to see that he was heading toward his own destruction. The loss of his sight was a painful reminder of how he had neglected his connection with God, the true source of his direction and purpose. Enslavement and forced labor. Samson, once the great judge and liberator of Israel, was reduced to a slave grinding grain in a Philistine prison. The man who once inspired fear and respect was now a figure of mockery and shame. This fate was a direct consequence of his disobedience and breaking of his Nazirite vow. The forced labor symbolized the weight of the wrong choices Samson had made, showing that when we stray from God, we often become slaves to the consequences of our own actions. Public mockery of his faith. In the Temple of Dagon, the Philistines celebrated Samson's capture, attributing their victory to their gods. Samson, who had been an instrument of God to defeat Israel's enemies, was now used as a spectacle to entertain his captors. This not only humiliated Samson, but also discredited the power of Israel's God in the eyes of the Philistines. This moment of mockery revealed how Samson's departure from his divine purpose had brought consequences that affected not just his life, but also the reputation of his God among the nations. Samson's story is a powerful reminder of how even the strongest among us can fall when we stray from our purpose and give in to temptation. His life shows us that no amount of physical strength or talent can substitute for faithfulness and obedience to God. But amidst the pain and consequences, Samson's final act of repentance teaches us that it's never too late to turn back to our Creator and fulfill our purpose, no matter how far we've strayed. His legacy is both a warning and a message of hope. Our choices shape our destiny, but redemption is always within reach. Now, I want to hear from you. What did Samson's story teach you about strength, choices, and faith? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading them all. And if this video inspired you or gave you a new perspective, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue bringing you more stories like this. Let's grow together on this journey.